taking responsibility and accountability for your actions is such a powerful way to call your energy back to yourself and feel empowered in your body, because you're no longer exerting your energy, blaming oversleeping, blaming that person, blaming this thing, blaming traffic, blaming life, blaming society, like whatever. It's like, take some accountability for your piece in it and do better. Welcome to the Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation podcast hosted by me, Michaela J. Get ready to dive into an action-packed, bougie-based, and spiritually guided experience on all things manifesting your next level Lux life. Let's go. Hey, gorgeous. What's up? Welcome back to the Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation podcast with your girl. It is I, the Michaela J, here to teach you how to manifest your next level Lux life. Happy Wednesday. I cannot believe the words I'm about to say to you, but this is episode 300 of the Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation podcast. 300 episodes. Let me tell you, a couple weeks ago, I was editing one of the episodes. I was in like the early 290s. Maybe it was like 292 or something. And I was typing in the number while scheduling it so that it would post on either Monday or Wednesday, whatever it was. And I looked at the number and I was like, is that correct? Like, are we really almost at 300 fucking episodes? That is crazy. That's insane. We've been doing this together for almost 7 years. Can you believe that? It's so on par with what I wanted to talk about today, because commitment, consistency, discipline pays off. And let me tell you, it feels so fucking good. I can't believe we're at 300 episodes. Thank you so much for listening week after week. Thank you for sharing the podcast with your friends, with your family, with your sister, with your mom, with your bestie on Facebook, on Instagram. Like, thank you so much. I can't believe we're at 300 episodes. I can't believe. And I feel so grateful that you want to listen to me sit here and yap about how to change your life for years on end. I get so many messages from girls that are like, oh my gosh, I found you way back when. And then I lost your podcast for a while and I wasn't listening to podcasts, or life got busy and now I'm back on it. And I'm kicking myself forever, missing those 5 months, missing whatever. And it's just so wild that we've been through so many iterations together of up levels. We've been through so many up levels, period. You guys have been with me for a lot of moves. We've lived in Nebraska, we've lived in Bali, we've lived in LA, now we live in Texas. It's crazy. Episode 300. So I knew I wanted to do something special for this episode. And I wanted to talk about one thing that has completely changed my life. And it's 75 hard. And I want to break down my top 10 biggest takeaways from doing the Live Hard program, because when you're listening to this, I will have just finished my second year of doing the full Live Hard program, which is also insane. And what crazy timing. I didn't know I'd be finishing around the time I'd be doing episode 300. This is just so wild. So I'm really excited to get into my top 10 takeaways and how 75 Hard and the Live Hard program has absolutely changed my mindset for the better over these last few years, and how you can apply some of these tips into your life, even if you're not doing something like 75 Hard. Before we dive in, I want to remind you about our latest little freebie thing you can snag, the Instant Manifestation Reset. What this is a 3-part audio training series. So it's basically a bonus little podcast series on resetting your manifestation energy so you can snap into a reality where you're collapsing time around your manifestations, your success is inevitable, and your desires are consistent, okay? Each day you're going to get an audio training about why you're manifesting inconsistently, the science and energy behind your manifestations, collapsing time, making your success inevitable, and other bonus resources. That way you have your own little spring reset to your manifestation journey. This is going to be the last week that you can snag limited time access completely for free. After this week, to sign up, there will be a paid link included. So if you want to tune in, you want to snag snag a little freebie. Make sure you get your booty inside. It is so gold. Everybody's been commenting on it of like, this is so good. I'm already having breakthroughs. My mindset's totally shifting. It's only day 2. You're going to want to get inside. Okay. The link for that is in the show notes, or you can message me over on Instagram. Now, let's get into this episode. Top 10 things I have learned from doing the Live Hard program. So let me just break this down for anybody who doesn't know what the Live Hard program is. Andy Frisella, the founder of First Form, I almost said CEO. He's not the CEO anymore. His brother is. The founder of First Form created a mental toughness challenge called 75 Hard. This has gone viral on the internet. I've talked about it literally a million fucking times. 75 Hard is for 75 days. You complete a mental toughness challenge, which includes 1 45-minute workout every day, 1 outdoor 45-minute workout every single day, a gallon of water every day. You stick to a diet, no cheat meals, no cheat days. If you have a cheat day and fall off your diet, you have to completely start over. No alcohol, progress picture every single day. And you have to read 10 pages of a business or personal development, self-help type of book. Fiction does not count for this. It's all about growth mindset. 75 days of that. And it's the first part of the Live Hard year. The Live Hard program is the year-long version. So 75 Hard is the first part. And then you go into phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. When you are listening or watching this, because by the way, we have video every week now for the podcast, which is so amazing. When you're listening to this, I will have just finished my 3rd and final phase for the entire year, which is such an accomplishment because these phases are meant to challenge you, literally. I've done the full year one other time. It was a couple of years ago when I lived back in LA, and I remember feeling this same sense of accomplishment and pride, like feeling proud of myself as I do now, because it really is such a big undertaking. And there have been times where it's like, oh, we're having Thanksgiving and I want a glass of wine, but I'm on 75 Hard and I can't drink. And okay, after Thanksgiving, I just ate so much food, but I have to do my outdoor workout and all I want to do is lay on the couch and sleep. Like, it's meant to challenge you, and it's such a big accomplishment. Like, nothing, no other challenge will make you feel so good about yourself, truly. So finishing this has been such an accomplishment, and I'm going to be doing the year again. So I'm going to be completing a 3rd year of it, because Andy actually talks about on his Instagram that it's something he does every single year because it's meant to help you maintain and continue to push yourself forward. But I don't want to get into any of my takeaways too early. So let's get straight to the list. I have my phone here so I stay on track, or else I'm going to ramble for a really long time about this. Let's talk about the top 10 things I have learned from doing the entire Live Hard year program from 75 Hard, and what this has done for my mindset specifically that you can take away for yourself. Number 1, emotions will always be a roller coaster, but your commitment keeps you grounded. Okay. You're going to go through so many phases of your life in a year time span. Like, you're going to have moments where you're super motivated. You're going to have moments where you're like, holy shit, like I'm maxing my capacity right now. You're going to go through moments where you're in a sad girl era. You're being a sad sister. You're going to go through moments where like you wake up in the morning motivated, in the afternoon, you're in a 3 p.m. slump. Like, your emotions are always going to be moving around. They're always going to be a roller coaster. The word emotion is literally energy in motion. It's energy moving through your body. It's always moving. Okay. But your commitment to what you have going on in your life right now is what keeps you grounded. When you are committed to doing certain things, it doesn't matter. Your emotions could be all over the place, but you're still going to feel solid because you have your regular things to do. For me, it doesn't matter if I didn't feel like doing a cold shower one day. Like, I had to do it for certain phases. It didn't matter at the end of the night if I'm like so exhausted, I have to finish my reading. It doesn't matter if one morning I'm tired and I want to sleep in. Like, I got to get up and I got to get in the gym because I have a packed schedule for the rest of the day. Like, it doesn't matter how I'm feeling, what emotions are coming through. It doesn't matter if I've had a shitty day and all I want to do is go lay in bed and take a nap. Like, I got to get outside and get my walk in. I got to hit my protein goal. I got to keep drinking water. Like, it doesn't matter if we're celebrating something and all of your friends and family are drinking and you want a glass of champagne so bad. Like, yeah, you might want that. And you're like, oh, I want to celebrate. I want to be a part of that. it doesn't matter. Like, you have to stay grounded in your commitment. And when you have that, your life is going to get infinitely better. We so often jump from emotion to emotion to emotion, like how I'm feeling, and we dictate what we do next based off of how we're feeling, rather than what our commitments are that we need to show up for and what our goals are. This is why so many people, I feel like, struggle with following through on their goals, is because they're so used to this pattern of following their emotions and disregarding their commitments. And it's like, yeah, it's going to be more difficult for you to follow through and stay accountable because you have truly no sense of commitment in that way. Like, if it's negotiable for you, it's not a real commitment, and your commitments keep you grounded. Same thing in a relationship, right? When you're in a committed relationship, it keeps you grounded. You have somebody who always has your back. You have that person you can always go to. I feel that way about my marriage. It's like, I have my built-in best friend. I have a strong support system. I have this commitment, and that commitment gets to work for me. My emotions can be up and down. I could be having the worst day ever, and I know Austin's going to be there for me. I could be having the biggest celebration of my career, and I know he's going to be there for me. Like, that's what keeps you grounded, are your commitments. And we stray away from that because we don't want to be held. A lot of times we don't want to be held accountable, but a lot of times we don't want so much on our plate, and like, what if I don't feel like it, right? But your commitments are actually what's going to get you through the toughest of times, because when you can't willpower yourself into taking like action on your goals, like, you're at minimum going to follow through on your commitments. This actually segues perfectly into number 2. Commitment means follow through. Okay. There's no option to fail. Why are you letting failure become an option? So a couple things I want to say in here. Commitment means follow through. You're committed to something, you do it. I have talked about before how it's so important to be a woman of your word. That's how you build trust with other people. That's how you build trust with yourself. And that's how you start to believe the things you say more. If you are always saying, I'm going to manifest this, I'm going to manifest that, and you never take action on it, you're going to start to not believe yourself anymore when you say those words, because you're like, yeah, I'm committing to doing this, but then you don't actually follow through. Then you don't believe yourself. That's not a commitment. And when I say there's no option to fail, this is specifically talking about with 75 hard, people that fail 75 hard. And I talk to a lot of people that have failed 75 hard. To me, that's not an option. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, because when I commit to a challenge, when I commit to showing up for something, I'm showing up for it. It's not, let me try and see if I can do 75 hard. I'm doing 75 hard. Let's see how far I can make it. Like, I hope I can make it 75 days. It's none of that. It's, I'm doing 75 hard. For the next 75 days, I'm not fucking drinking. For the next 75 days, I'm taking my ass outside. I don't care if it's 6 a.m, 3 p.m, or 11 p.m. I'm getting in my outdoor workout. Like, there's no other option than following through with my commitment. And I've seen so many videos on the internet talking about 75 hard. I saw one video one time, and it was a girl on vacation, and she was like, I was on day 43 of 75 hard. And she was like on a trip, and she was like, and then I realized it's not that deep. And I said, fuck it. And it was her drinking a cocktail on the beach. And that broke my heart, because it totally goes against the whole point. The whole point is building mental toughness, of following through, of learning true discipline. And to say it's not that deep, it is that deep. You are actively losing trust within yourself when you quit a commitment that you committed to. You said, I'm going to do this for 75 days. And to make it more than halfway and then say it's not that deep. A lot of times when people are that way, they miss the point, right? They might be doing it just for a fitness, like a fitness outcome. Like, they want to lose weight. They want to get, hot for summer, like have a bikini body ready. It's got fitness elements, of course, but it's about mental toughness. It's about following through when you don't want to do it. It's about challenging yourself. And so my inkling is that she probably went into it for maybe a fitness intention. And then it's like not that deep, because she's already like strutting her stuff. She looked great. Like, she looked beautiful in her bikini, having a little cocktail on her vacation. Like, nothing against this girl, but it's like, it is that deep. Because when you make a commitment to yourself and you don't follow through, you break trust with yourself. And the more you break trust with yourself, the more you lose your confidence and your word doesn't mean anything anymore. And so there's no option to fail. It's not like I'm going to try and do 75 hard. I want to push through. I want to see how far I can make it. Even like the word try. That's like a word that we don't use around here. I'm only using it as an example because this is the mindset that people have. It's like, there's no trying, there's only doing. You're either doing 75 hard or you're not. You're either manifesting what you want or you're not. There's no trying. It's like hope energy. You follow through. Failure's not an option. So why are you letting that be an option? Why are you letting the idea of not following through with a commitment be an option for you? You really have to start tapping into the energy of non-negotiables if you want to continue up-leveling your life to where you are truly like maxing out your potential. Number 3, discipline is something you will always have to work on to maintain. I told you guys at the beginning of this, I have completed the Live Hard year before, and I want to say it was in 2021. And after that, I was like, yay, I did the year. I did it. Congratulations. And I was in, I'm always in my like health and fitness era. I worked out with a trainer, like I was still doing things, but the challenge of 75 hard is showing up for multiple different things. It's not just about fitness. It's not only showing up for your workouts. It's about showing up for yourself in several ways. No excuses, like literally taking no prisoners, like showing up when you don't want to. And when I wasn't on the program, it doesn't mean I'm going to be on the program my entire life every single year over and over and over again. But like, let me get here. When I wasn't on the program, that discipline dwindled. I am always somebody who follows through with what they say they're going to do. Like commitments are very, very important to me, as you can tell by everything that we're talking about. But my level of discipline in getting shit done quickly in a timely manner without dealing with mental drama, like my tolerance for that kind of dipped a little bit when I stopped. You are not born with discipline. People look at me and they're like, I actually just had a conversation about this weekend. Like they're like, you're so disciplined. You're so committed to the things you do. Like you follow through, you show up. And I said, yeah, because it's something I'm always working on. Discipline is not something you were born with. You don't wake up and you're like, yeah, I'm a disciplined person. I think at our true nature, like humans are a little bit lazy. Like we want to like lay on the beach and hang out and like lounge on the couch with a good cup of coffee and like be wrapped up in a blanket. Like we want to be chilling. We love sleep, So discipline is something that you build and it's something you have to work to maintain. And the times that I haven't been doing 75 hard and I don't have that same level of commitment required of me, that discipline dips. And let me tell you an example of what this looks like. I will still follow through with things that I need to do for work. I know I'm going to complete the things I need to. I'm going to finish working on the projects that I said I was going to work on. I'm going to show up for the calls that I scheduled, right? But there's going to be more mental drama in the process. So let's say I committed myself to something and I'm like, I really don't want to do it. And this is just not the vibe. I'm not in the mood. The lighting's not good. Like you just go through all of these mental motions. And then I will say like, okay, well, like, let me just reschedule it. Like this is me in the past. Let me just reschedule it. I want to make sure I'm in a good vibe. And then you reschedule it. And then it's like, that is just a really small blip of when I wasn't being disciplined, because what I should have done was today's been a bad day or today's been a shitty 5 minutes and I'm going to, kick my ass out of it. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to touch some grass. I'm going to take some deep breaths. I'm going to scream into a pillow. I'm going to let this shit go and I'm going to go rock this call. I'm going to go give the best live of my entire life. I'm going to go deliver this fucking training. And I know once I finish that, I'm going to feel like a bad bitch and my energy will be completely changed. But instead, I would move a call and then I would just wallow for the rest of the day because it wasn't the vibe. And that's one small way that discipline dips. Versus now, I'm like, I might not feel like doing something, but I'm going to do it. And it's because I don't have room in my fucking schedule to move things around anymore because I have 8 things on my to-do list from 75 hard and my other commitments. And so I'm just going to stay disciplined. I don't feel like it. That's too bad. Deep breath. Let's go. Deep breath. Let's go. But all of that is a choice and it's something you have to work to maintain, which is exactly why I'm going to be doing another Live Hard year after this one, because I want to keep maintaining that. And I also, this is like an MJ thought, like I want to see who I can become truly. Like I want to see who is that version of myself I'm going to be on the other side with even more discipline, even more grit than I have now. I can't even imagine that. Like I'm such a person who follows through. I'm such a person that shows the fuck up. Like I don't make excuses for things. Like I take action. I take messy action, right? We even talked about on Monday, like I don't even need all the details to start leaping into things. So I'm like, oh my God, like who am I going to be at X time? Like who am I going to be literally this time next year with even more discipline, with even less resistance, with even less tolerance for wherever my emotions are at that day? So it's worth it to me to keep working on that. And the last thing I'm going to say on this is when you work on this and the more discipline that you build, it's not about accomplishing more, doing more in your day. It's really about getting your life back. Like that's what if you strip back all of the work that I do, it's about giving you your life back. When you are not battling yourself mentally, when you're not procrastinating, when you're not pushing things off, rearranging things, you actually get your life back. Because in the time that I could say, oh, I'm having the worst day, being in this like mental spiral, wanting to move the call, it's like, okay, great. Well, we just wasted a whole hour on that. And now I have to move things around later because I just moved this call. And now I'm wasting the rest of my day because I'm in a bad mood rather than just confronting it and doing the work and feeling better afterwards. Every time now that I'm like, I don't feel good or I'm not in a good mood and I have to do a live or a call or something, every single time afterwards, I feel completely different. I feel so much better. I feel like a brand new human. I feel revived by my own teachings. Literally, it's like my own medicine. And I get my life back. I pushed through the resistance. I got to check that off my to-do list. And now I'm in a better mood. Now I can go make memories. Now I can go take action. Now I can go on a walk and enjoy it rather than being like grumble, grumble, grumble on a hot girl walk. So it's worth it to me to continue to stretch my levels of discipline because the more I stretch that, the more efficient I am and the more life I get to live. Again, in that extra time, I could go have a dinner with my friends, but if I was in a shit mood, I probably wouldn't have done that, right? So you get to live more life when you're more disciplined. On the same note as the mental drama, number 4 is it's going to suck regardless. It's going to suck regardless. Why waste energy entertaining your mental drama? If it's going to suck regardless, why waste energy? Okay. And this is specifically referencing cold showers. Okay. We have talked about cold showers so much over the years. It is something that has helped me so immensely because it helped me break my avoidance tendencies. All right. Now, I broke my avoidance tendencies because when you're in the freezing cold shower, you can't avoid anything. You can't avoid the cold water. It's just like overtaking your entire being while you're shivering there, right? So what I learned in this year of 75 Hard or the full Live Hard program is that one thing I've really noticed, especially in phase 3, I would get in the cold shower and I would immediately just step in the water. Whereas in the past, I probably like dip a toe in, put my hand in, and then be like, ugh, okay. And then I would like wait a minute and then I would start my timer and like jump in, but I would like tiptoe in. Now I just start the timer and I get the fuck in the water. And so the difference here is like, I know that it's going to be cold. I know that some days the water is more colder and those days are really going to suck. And the days that it's cold, it's going to suck. I'm also anemic, so I'm always cold. So it's really going to suck, right? And I love the saying that Austin says this all the time, like embrace the suck. When you know something is going to be brutal. Same thing as like, I live in Texas. The summers are like 110 degrees. I still have to do outdoor workouts. Like, you know, you're going to be like sweating your ass off. Embrace the suck. It's going to suck regardless. Why waste time being all up in your head? Oh, it's so cold and I'm freezing already, or it's so hot outside. And like, now I got to do this walk and I'm going to be sweating. Why entertain the mental drama? Just like I was saying before, in that same time you make up all of these stories in your head, you could have been executing, you could have been in and out of the shower already, right? Because you spend those 5 minutes, it's a 5-minute cold shower you take, 5 minutes just complaining about it. Like you could have been done already with the hot girl walk outside, like literally hot girl walk and you're sweating. Like in the 5 minutes you're complaining about the heat, you would have been 5 minutes into your walk, right? And now it's going to take you even longer. And the longer you wait, the hotter the day is probably going to be, because it gets really hot at night here, which is like super weird. But anyways, you know it's going to suck regardless. So why waste any more time? And I noticed that this was a natural progression that I actually just kind of started happening to me doing the cold showers. Was like, I didn't even purposely just like set the timer and jump in. It was like, my body started doing it. My body knew by muscle memory, like, this is going to be freezing. Let's get this over with. Anything I didn't want to do, I'm just telling myself, just get it over with. Just get it done, get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off. If there are things in your life right now that are making you anxious, that give you anxiety to think about, deal with them right now. Rip the Band-Aid off, because you waste so much of your life and so much of your energy with the build up of having to deal with those things. And so I remember going through a phase of my business where I was navigating a lot of different things. I was going through huge up-leveling pains and huge growing pains, which was amazing because my business was growing, but I was also, again, navigating so much. And it would be so uncomfortable. And I would want to put those things off that made me uncomfortable or anxious or nervous until the end of the day. But then during the day, I wouldn't have the right energy. Just get it over with. Number 5, the more you move, the more ideas you're going to have. This happens every single time I do 75 hard, because I've done 75 hard itself multiple times. I've done the full year now twice. Anytime I do 75 hard, like a week in, I feel like a brand new bitch, just because of all the movement, just because of my daily workouts, or I'm going to dance class every day, whatever the movement is, and then walking outside on top of it. I have all of this time to move my energy, to think, to brainstorm, to problem solve. Like on my walks, they are very efficient, you guys. It's rare that I'm doing my outdoor workout and I'm like listening to a podcast, to be honest with you. I'm usually like voice noting myself, walking myself through challenges or problems I need to solve. I am usually talking with my team, or I'm chatting with clients and we're brainstorming how to solve their problems and how to do things more efficiently. I'm like working on a million things at once. And then when I'm not like talking with people, I am just brainstorming and I'm going through my day and I'm going through, how am I feeling? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, like what's my energy been at lately? How can I make that a 10? What do I need to remove from my life? Like it's very efficient. And you're going to move through the things you need to deal with faster, just for the simple fact that you are moving your body at the same time. And when you're moving that energy and also being outside, grounding a lot of the extra electrons in your body, they go into the earth, especially if you're barefoot, but not like you're going to like walk around barefoot that much. Anyways, when you're shedding that energy and you're outside, you're breathing fresh air and you're neutralizing the vibrations in your body. Oh my God. You are going to get the biggest downloads ever. And that is just something I've realized is my secret sauce. If I need to problem solve, I need to get out of the house. And I've really used this and leaned into this the past year of like, okay, great. If I can tell I'm getting frustrated, like I'm going to go outside and start my outdoor workout, even if it's just starting 5 minutes and like I have to get back in and like get on a call or do something cool. I'm going to do that. But at least I'm moving my energy, and that always gives me ideas and inspiration to spring forward. Number 6, you make time for what's important to you. I have felt this way for a long time, especially when I was in college, because I plan my day by the hour, and now I'm a Google Calendar girly. But if you have my ultimate guide to becoming that girl, it's a freebie that I did, and I'll link it in the show notes for you. I have my like time schedule, how I map out my days. It's hour by hour from like 5 a.m. till midnight, pretty much. I think the one in the workbook is until 10 p.m., maybe like 6 to 10. But in college, I remember thinking like, yeah, you always make time for the things that are important to you. Because when I was in college, I was taking more than a regular course load. I had a job on campus. I was blogging and doing content online. I was in a relationship. I was hanging out with my friends, the limited amount of friends that I had, to be honest with you. I was working out. I was going to yoga class. I was spending a ton of time on self-development. I was in 2 different clubs on campus, a fashion club and a graphic design club. Like, I'm not kidding. I was doing the most. I was also a scholarship student. And so we had scholarship events and scholarship tutoring that we had to do. I mean, like the list goes on and on and on. I was also traveling a bunch. I mean, truly like on and on and on. And I had to get really efficient and really savvy with the time that I had in my day. And it's true, like you make time for what's important to you. You find the time in between things. There's so often that we're wasting like 15 minutes on something that could have gone to checking in with a friend, right? Like 15 minutes you're scrolling on your phone, you could have called your grandma, right? 15 minutes that or an extra 30 minutes, you watched another episode on Netflix, you could have done an extra workout. You could have worked on your Instagram content. If you say you want to be a creator full time, then like, why aren't you dedicating that time? If it's truly important to you, you're going to find a way. It's the people that say like, oh, well, I don't have time, but like you have a Netflix subscription and you're being so available to everybody all of the time. Like one thing that Austin and I have changed recently is he loves to call me when he's driving like to and from work. And I'm really busy with a bunch of projects I'm working on right now. So we actually like set this boundary and we agreed like, hey, when you're driving to and from work, don't call me anymore because I'm going to be spending that time working on these projects. That way, when you're home, we can spend really intentional time together. And it serves everybody because I have that extra, like his commute's like 45 minutes. So I have that extra 45 minutes to get done what I need to do. When we're together, we have even better time because now we're fully catching up in person. And now he has that time in the morning and in the evening to call his friends, call his family, listen to a podcast. He loves an audiobook, listen to an audiobook, like have that time for himself as well. And so it's just making the time and noticing where time's slipping away and using that intentionally. And I really had to do this with the Live Hard year, especially phase 3 has got the most tasks. Let me just map it out for you. It's got all the normal 75 hard tasks. So a one 45-minute workout, an outdoor 45-minute workout. So 2 a day, gallon of water, diet, no alcohol, no cheat days, right? Progress picture and reading 10 pages. On top of that, you also have to take a 5-minute cold shower every single day. You have to do 3 extra power list items. So if you listened to my manifestation to-do list episode, that's a power list. You have to do 3 extra things on top of that. You have to meet somebody new every single day, like have a conversation with a stranger and do an act of kindness. It's a lot of shit. Okay. So when you're doing that, and like with even the power list one alone, that's adding in an extra 3 action steps. Like it's 1 action step on your list, but it's 3 things to your day on top of your normal day to day. And when you've got to manage that on top of normal life, you have to be efficient about your time. And if you want it bad enough, you will make the time for it. Number 7 is radical self-responsibility. This is something that's really, really important to me in general, but to a next level. Okay. If something takes me a long time, it's my fault. And I'm going to give you guys the exact example of what I'm talking about here. Throughout 75 Hard, I have moments where I am up until like 2 a.m, you guys, like truly, like being fully honest. And it's all my own fault. It's when I don't follow the schedule for the day. It's when I push things off until later in the day. Like it could be I overslept, right? And so then I wake up at 7 instead of 5. And from 5 to 7, I could have got both workouts done and a cold shower and blah, 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 right? Could have done all of these things. And then now I have to spring into my day. Well, me oversleeping was probably because I didn't go to bed at the right time that day, or maybe I snoozed, like some sort of self-sabotage or just some sort of action that I need to take accountability for. There's been a couple nights where I'm up until like 2 a.m, and it's because I'm finishing a workout and then I have to read. And then it's like, fuck, I didn't take a cold shower that morning, right? And so it really teaches radical self-responsibility and owning that, because this is a new level. It's so easy to blame like oversleeping, but why did you oversleep? Okay. This is where that extra level of accountability and responsibility comes in. Why did you oversleep? Oh, because I didn't go to bed on time the night before. What were you doing? You were watching Netflix, you're scrolling on your phone. Who knows what you were doing? Okay. Maybe you drink caffeine too late in the day. I've definitely had that problem. Like these are your own actions that cause this. Oh, you overslept. It's because you hit snooze. And then you didn't wake back up, right? And then you suddenly overslept. Like there is a level of responsibility you can take in this. And when you take that, you take the power back. Most people want to blame oversleeping. Most people want to blame traffic. Most people want to blame something outside of themselves, because when they accept responsibility, they shame themselves and they make themselves feel bad for it. That doesn't have to be a part of the process. You don't have to shame yourself, but you can accept responsibility and say, I'm going to do better tomorrow. So for me, when I'm staying up until 2 a.m, finishing 75 hard tasks, like I'm not going to complain about it because it's my own fault. And when something is your fault, you don't need to drag yourself through the mud. You say, I need to do better. This is why I'm at this place. This is why this is happening. How can I prevent that moving forward? And just make it short and make it sweet. Notice the theme in all of these is that we're really removing the mental drama. You're becoming a sharpened version of yourself. It's like, I'm not going to push things off. Like, I got to make time for this, and I need to take accountability and responsibility for the times that I did push it off. And I'm going to jump straight into the cold shower because I don't want to deal with the mental drama. I don't have the extra time to entertain these crazy thoughts. Like, I have to dive in head first. I need to follow through with my commitment. There's no going back and forth. We've got to take action. Become a sharper version of yourself. Taking responsibility and accountability for your actions is such a powerful way to call your energy back to yourself and feel empowered in your body, because you're no longer exerting your energy, blaming oversleeping, blaming that person, blaming this thing, blaming traffic, blaming life, blaming society, like whatever. It's like, take some accountability for your piece in it and do better. Number 8, meeting new people doesn't have to be awkward. This is such a funny one, and I had to include it because phase 3, you have to talk to a stranger every single day, like an actual conversation, not like ordering coffee. Hi, how are you? I'm good. Can I get a cold brew? That doesn't count. Like a real conversation with somebody, and it doesn't have to be long, but it needs to be an intentional conversation. I work from home. I'm in the studio right now. No one's here. Sometimes Allie is here, the owner of the space, but I'm always here alone. Like, I spend so much of my time alone. I go to the gym. I don't talk to anybody unless Caleb's there with me. I go to my coffee shop and I talk to my normal baristas who I know. Like, I don't talk to new people very often. And I'm also an introvert. Like, I recharge being alone. And it depends on the day of the week you get me, but I can be really socially awkward, to be honest with you. And that's actually like, I don't know, it feels wrong to say that now because I'm stepping out of that identity. But for most of my life, it felt very socially awkward. I never knew what to say to people. I never knew how to connect with new people. And especially being like a mindset spiritual girly, I didn't really know how to talk to normal people either. So it was something that I wouldn't say I like struggled with, but it was a challenge of mine for a really long time. And so doing this in phase 3 had been the biggest challenge. And there would be days where like I didn't talk to anybody new all day, and I would literally have to go to Target at like 8 p.m. and like walk around the store and find someone to talk to. And I felt like a fucking weirdo. But then I would strike up conversations when I would just like go to the clothing section and like talk to a girl and like compliment her outfit and strike up the conversation that way. And I would just talk to like the actual nicest people ever. And nothing has like come of any of the connections. Like it's not like I got everyone's Instagram or like phone number, but it just reminded me that like people aren't that scary. It's like, and it doesn't have to be awkward. And when you approach people with like cool, calm, collected manner, like that's the energy that you're going to get back. Not everybody is super receptive to having a conversation with a stranger, and it's totally understandable. I wasn't until this challenge, but it's funny how much you grow once you step out of your comfort zone, because it was so awkward for me at first. And after a while, I got good at it. And now I find myself in the habit where like I'll have had a conversation with a stranger, but then I'll be at like a new cafe and I'll be asking the barista a bunch of questions, like starting a conversation. Or Austin and I went to our favorite vegan burger spot here in Austin the other day. They just opened a new location. The guy working had like made some sort of like comment about my business. So I was like, "Oh, are you the owner?" And he said, "Yes." And then we had a full conversation with him. And that was like literally the third new person I had a conversation with that day, which is so wild. Like me 6 months ago would not have done that. And now it's like a normal part of how I interact with society. And it's so nice because it gives you more of that sense of community. But again, it takes your power back. I used to feel really awkward. I used to feel really uncomfortable. I used to feel like, I don't know, like not the power was in the other person's hands, but it was like, oh, this is what it is. Actually, now I'm saying this out loud. How I'm going to feel after this interaction depends entirely on their response. So it's like an external validation thing almost. It's like, I'm only going to feel good about interacting with this stranger if they feel good about the interaction as well. And if they didn't, and if they weren't super receptive, afterwards I felt really awkward, really uncomfortable, like really icky. And now I'm at a point where I'm like, that doesn't matter. Like if they're not super receptive, like that's fine. That's their choice. I don't let that impact me, and I don't let that have power over me. Like now if I see a girl in public and I really like her workout set, like I'm going to tell her that. Like yesterday I was at dance class and this girl had like the most beautiful beautiful long hair. And I stopped her in class and I told her that. I had already talked to a stranger that day, but I was just like, you have the most beautiful hair. And she looked so happy with that compliment. Like, you never know what people need to hear. And we just ended up having a whole conversation. And so it's me taking my power back kind of like socially, but it's funny how you watch these things change about you and just like how I interact with the world now that it's kind of a habit of mine. Which is actually the perfect segue into number 9. Pushing your limits is how you get better. I feel like a better human and a more equipped person because of shifting what I felt was my social awkwardness. And I'm going to give you the perfect example of this. I have been going to my dance studio for like a year now, I believe. And every time I would go, I felt so awkward, you guys. Like, truly, not about the dance aspect. Like, I can dance in the mirror. I can be sassy. I can perform it. I can film myself. I don't give a shit. Like, I look good. I'm great at learning choreography. I'm having fun. But when it came to the socializing aspect, sometimes, okay, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes I would literally show up late so I didn't have to talk to anybody, because my studio, they really value community. So at the beginning of every class, they have you like meet somebody, introduce yourself, and they give you a question of the day. And I used to always feel so fucking awkward doing that, of like talking to these strangers, and they did it in such a cute way. They're like, we want you to feel comfortable and know who you're dancing with. Like, very, very cute. I always felt so awkward. And again, sometimes I would show up 5 minutes late just to skip that part. I'm not lying. Like, I just felt like, I don't know how to talk to normal people. I'm awkward. This is weird. I hate small talk. These small talk questions, right? Now that I'm over all of that, when I was at dance class the other day, I like had a really pleasant conversation with 2 people that I met. And then at the end, we were all like, it was so nice to meet you. We're like complimenting each other. We like had so much fun dancing together, like complimenting how well we did on the routine. Like, it was so much better and so much more elevated of an experience actually getting to feel the value of that and not be so in my head. But I would have never experienced that if I hadn't pushed my limit and have to meet somebody new for 30 days in a row. So pushing your limits is how you get better. It's how your life gets better, and it's how you progress forward faster. That's why when we have conversations about energetic capacity, I'm always like, you have got to look at what's taking away your energy, and you've got to cut that shit out so you can keep growing. You got to expand your capacity to the point where it feels uncomfortable and it feels like a lot, because then you're going to normalize it, and that's when you're going to up level. Like, you've got to take that on. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird, right? It's going to feel different. That means you're growing. And number 10, my last and my biggest takeaway from doing the Live Hard program is that who you choose to be in between phases is the most important part. This is where you really see the change that has happened in your life. What I mean by this is when you're in between, because there's like 4 phases of it. 75 hard, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. There's time in between each one. Like, you're not doing 75 hard for an entire year straight. And what you choose to do and who you choose to be during the in-between phases is going to show you everything you need to know about yourself. Do you drop the discipline? Do you completely cut off all of the habits? Do you stop drinking water? You don't even look at a fucking book? Like, how are you being in between? Are you immediately going and binging sweets after not having them for 30 days, for 75 days, whatever? It's like, are you now ignoring people you meet in public? Are you not doing your power list? Like, this is so important. Who you're being in between means everything. And it's the same with manifestation. When it's like the moment you decide you want something between the moment you have it, who are you being in that process? That's what makes the manifestation. That's what shows you're actually ready for it. That's what shows that you're a different person. You identify differently. You're now an energetic match. For example, when I finished 75 hard, after 75 hard and before phase 1, you have to wait 30 days for this exact reason of like, who are you going to be? What are you going to do in these 30 days when you don't quote unquote have to do the tasks? And my 30 days was June going into July. That is like the hottest part of the summer here in Texas. And when I had finished in June, it was warm, but it wasn't like hot. Like, it was probably like 90s, but it wasn't like 110s yet. And in the 30 days in between, I kept doing walks at least 4 to 5 times a week, because I said, I told myself, like, I have to keep my body trained for this, and I have to keep my body like in the heat that is gradually warming up, so that when I enter phase 1, I'm not, 1, getting fucking sunburnt, and 2, shocking my body with all of this extra exercise that I hadn't been doing and the heat on top of it. In between, I chose to be a version of myself that set herself up for success. That's the underlying message, right? And Andy Frisella talks about this on his podcast. Like, oftentimes people do 75 hard, and the 76th day, once they're done, they're immediately like binge drinking beer, they're eating out, they're having a whole fucking cake, like everything goes out the window. And it was like, what was all of that for? Not meaning like that you can't do those things. Like, in between phases, I definitely have a drink. I love wine. I love champagne. Like, I won't be like doing 2 workouts every single day, but everything in moderation. And so many people just throw everything out the window. And it's like, then you didn't learn anything. Even the fact that I'm telling you I'm continuing to have conversations with strangers after it's done, that's exactly what I mean and how it's showing up. Another example I have of this from the full year-long program is during phase 2, my diet was hitting a protein goal and eating 3 meals a day, because I was eating 2 meals a day very consistently. But with all the exercise, your metabolism is spiked, and I was always hungry. And then I was putting off eating my protein till nighttime, and then I was eating like so much protein before bed, and I just felt ew. So I was like, okay, you know what? For phase 2, we're going to do 3 meals a day to spread out the protein. And now I always eat 3 meals a day. So it's the lasting impression that it leaves on you that makes the biggest difference. And that if you keep up with that, it shows that commitment's important to you. The discipline really got to you. Like, the mental toughness, what you were meant to get out of the program, you actually got. So those are my top 10 takeaways from finishing a year of the Live Hard program, a year of the 75 Hard program. It changes my life every single time that I do it. And these mindset lessons shift so much. Like, it shifts so much about embracing the suck and knowing there's going to be things you don't want to do that you're going to have to do sometimes, and just get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off, not avoiding, but it's like no longer entertaining the mental drama and wasting your time and wasting your life. It's about efficiency, being productive, managing your calendar, making time for things, showing up, truly honoring your commitments and honoring them long term, being a different person after each phase. After, even if you just did 75 hard, like, who do you choose to be after that experience? Challenging yourself, pushing your limits, stepping outside of your comfort zone. Like, these are things that you don't learn unless you really go in and you go deep and you commit long term to doing something that's going to change your life. I hope you loved this episode. Thank you for listening to episode 300 of the Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation podcast. If you got a value add here, if you had a breakthrough, if you had a big takeaway, I would love it if you shared over on your Instagram stories and gave me a tag. I'm at the Michaela J, and seeing you help me celebrate 300 episodes would be so, so special to me. So thank you in advance for sharing to all of your humans. And you know what? Cheers to 300 more. Bye. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to leave a 5-star rate and review. I love hearing your takeaways and wins from the podcast in the review section, so don't forget. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.